From the Athens Tech Studios, this is the Athens-Clarke County Cast, covering the latest stories that affect you in and around Athens. Now, let's give you our top stories.
Hello and welcome to the Athens-Clarke County Cast. That's our brand new name, Athens-Clarke County Cast. We're still one of Feedspot's top 20 Georgia news podcasts. My name is Melissa Carter. If you're heading to AthFest this month, your attendance actually helps a good cause. Mary Joyce, Executive Director of AthFest Educates, will join us to explain. Meanwhile, here are your top stories brought to you by Drake Realty. Athens-Clarke County Police have charged a woman in a deadly shooting that occurred Wednesday in Athens. Officers responded to the 100 block of Nowhere Road, finding 31-year-old Jeremy Howard with a gunshot wound. Howard was rushed to a local hospital but succumbed to his injuries. After an investigation, police arrested 26-year-old Heather McCall, charging her with involuntary manslaughter and reckless conduct. Authorities have not disclosed what led to the shooting. The investigation continues, and anyone with information is urged to contact detectives at 762-400-7060. This from Fox 5. An Athens woman faces federal charges in Tennessee after multiple search warrants, including one at her home. 26-year-old Gabby Watson was indicted in May for 2 counts of cyber stalking and 1 count of interstate transmission of threats. Watson allegedly conducted an adoption scam targeting a Tennessee couple and made threats during her communication. If convicted, she could face up to 5 years in prison for each count. This from justice.gov. Athens-Clarke County Police arrested Anthony Phillips after he attempted a large purchase using a fraudulent account number at a business on Lexington Road. Phillips is linked to a multi-state fraud ring responsible for stealing millions of dollars of merchandise. Officers recovered $1,800 in stolen goods and fentanyl during the arrest. Phillips faces charges of theft by receiving stolen property, providing false information to law enforcement, and possession of a Schedule II controlled substance. He also has an outstanding warrant related to the fraud ring. This from The Red and Black. AthFest coming up here in a couple weeks, but did you know that your fun and festivities actually go to help students in Athens-Clarke County? Mary Joyce, who's the Executive Director of AthFest Educates, is going to join us next to tell you all about it.
A new, exciting podcast about dads for dads. Legacy Makers, a conversation for dads. Download now wherever you get your podcasts.
It pays to know your doctor. It pays to know your lawyer. And now more than ever, it pays to know your local real estate professional. Hi, I'm Jeffrey Drake with Drake Realty, and we have 7 offices in the metro Atlanta area, including 2 right here in Cobb County and 1 at Lake Oconee. I'm the proud leader of over 700 agents here in Georgia, and we pride ourselves in professional service, whether you are the buyer or the seller. Drake Realty makes the home buying process seamless from contract to close. Our agents are a little different. They're not pushing for the quick sale and close. They are pushing for the best price and terms for their client. In other words, Drake Realty fights for you. Now's the time to buy that dream home, vacation home, or new home your family deserves. A lot of real estate agents talk big. Let my team at Drake Realty prove they will fight for you. I'm Jeffrey Drake, and I'd be honored to have my team serve you. Visit us online at drakerealty.com. And remember, it's not how quick you sell or buy, it's what the deal provides for your future.
Achieve more with Athens Tech. At Athens Technical College, their programs can connect you with in-demand and high-paying careers.
I graduated from Athens Tech in May and started my job 2 weeks later. I had the job before I left, thanks to my professor, and just focusing on growing a career.
As far as Athens Tech, I think I've been a member of the advisory panel for 10 years now, and it's been an awesome experience.
I'm currently going to Athens Tech. I started out as an accounting major. I've finished all my accounting classes and then switched over to the culinary and baking program.
My name is Alex Lang. I'm an electromechanical engineering student. This is my 2nd year at Athens Tech, and I graduate in December. The long-term goal is to work for the railroad, whether that be Norfolk Southern or CSX.
Achieve more with Athens Tech. Find out more at athenstech.edu.
Mary Joyce is with me, the Executive Director of AthFest Educates. Now, Mary, first of all, thank you for joining us on the podcast.
Oh, thank you for having me.
AthFest, I mean, that's a popular term in the city, but let's talk about AthFest Educates, because I think people are limited in their understanding of all the things you guys do.
Definitely. So AthFest Educates grew out of AthFest. So the first AthFest in 1997. This will be the 26th year.
No, Mary, it's not been 26 years. Don't tell me it's been 26 years. I'm not that old. I'm teasing. Go ahead.
Yeah, I graduated high school in 1997. So every year I'm like, oh, okay. So once AthFest got off its feet a little bit, there ended up being a little bit of money afterwards, some years. The team that put together the festival created a board of directors, became a 501c3 nonprofit so that they could do something with the organization. And in 2014, the board and director decided to start giving out grants to fund music and arts education for K through 12 Clarke County students. And since then, we have given out over $620,000 in grants to fund high quality, accessible arts education for the kids in our community. The thought is that AthFest benefits this community in so many ways. We should give back to the kids that are going to be the next generation of that. This grant program, that is our main mission. So AthFest and the Half Marathon are both fundraisers in order to be able to give out these grants every year.
Mary, I'm the daughter of an art teacher, so I, my first memory, have been surrounded by art and art education. So I personally understand the importance of that. But I also have a son who is in an environment where they're really focused on STEM. That's a big catchphrase nowadays, and people want science and technology advancement. So, why is what you do so important, especially now in this culture?
We believe that arts education is vital to the well-being of every child, and every child deserves access to the arts. There's tons of research out there about mental health of children and academic achievement of children that have access to the arts. They just do way better. We know this. But I think sometimes those individual stories and insights are really helpful. So I know for me, I didn't understand fractions until I learned to read music for playing the drums. And then all of a sudden, fractions started to make sense. I didn't understand geometry really until in an art class we were doing perspective drawing of cityscapes. It's just so vital. A lot of the response or kind of feedback we get from the grants is that the kids end up learning so much more than music or art.
For, a child's emotional well-being, it seems that art is the key to make that happen.
I believe that. It was for me as a kid. And just hearing from the educators that have received grants, the things that they're able to do, the leadership skills and teamwork skills, those kind of things that are difficult to teach. A great example, we're able to provide a grant this year to Cedar Shoals to purchase microphones and field recorders for their music technology class. So they are able to record live music, go out and do interviews that they then edit down into podcasts. And they had to work as a team with that and going out independently to conduct interviews, record all of this information, and then edit it as a team. Those kind of interaction skills are hard to teach sometimes during school projects. But something like this really gives that extra incentive and that freedom of expression that is so important.
How do you choose the schools or the programs in which you offer the grants to?
Great question. Our grant applications are open. They're open right now at athfesteducates.org. We accept applications from Clarke County School District teachers. They don't have to be art and music teachers. We had a great application and funded a program of bringing in drums to teach meter in language arts class, like poetry, and to help with memorizing your multiplication tables, that kind of thing. We also fund nonprofits that are serving K through 12 Clarke County School District students. This year, Canopy did an amazing project with special education classes from Clarke County School District, where those students came over and got to learn some trapeze, some movement arts. And then we also fund for educators to do continuing education or development, so get trained on new techniques. Applications come in, we have a grants committee. We evaluate all the applications that come in and decide who we are able to fund that year.
If you're not somebody who's in education, how can you support? When are the next events that are coming up?
AthFest is one of our biggest events of the year, and it is coming up June 21st to 23rd. Purchasing a Club Crawl Pass, coming to the event, buying merch, everything that you do at the festival helps support the nonprofit. And there's also the Gospel Brunch. This is a newer edition, and that's on Sunday the 23rd at 1055 Barber. So the local YMCA's choir, Matt and Emily Joyner from Cornerstone Church, lots of gospel performers. It's free to enter, but you do have to pay to eat. All these passes and things are available at athfest.com. This year, we've offered our AthFest 2024 performers the opportunity to fundraise for the mission. And we were thrilled that so many performers really feel passionate about what we do and where this money goes. And so they are crowdfunding. The performer that raises the most funds will get a guaranteed evening main stage slot at AthFest 2025, which is a neat opportunity for some of the up-and-coming bands. Other big fundraiser of the year is the Ath Half Marathon. It is coming up Saturday, November 2nd and Sunday, November 3rd. That's through downtown Athens, 13 miles. There's bands every few miles. And so registration is open for that as well. AthFestEducates.org. And from there, you can access the athfest.com website or the athhalf.com website.
Mary Joyce, who is the executive director of AthFest Educates, thank you so much for being a part of the podcast, and best of luck here in a couple weeks.
Thank you.
Learn how to succeed and win big in life, plus much, much more. Listen to the Red Hot Read podcast, wherever you get your podcasts.
From WSB's Facebook page, the Falcons have been disciplined for tampering with 3 free agents. The team will forfeit its 5th-round pick in the 2025 NFL Draft and pay a fine of $250,000. Evan Brown said, just sell the team. Best thing author could do. They can't cheat right, can't play right, but somehow fans still going to say, rise up. Jeremy Huckabee said, all that and $180 million for a 37-year-old quarterback with a playoff win. Josh Beal said, big nothing burger. Forfeiting a 5th-round pick seems fair. The NFL gets to say they punished the Falcons, but not in a significant way. The University of Georgia's Master of Social Work program has been ranked the best in the state by counselingpsychology.org. The website, which guides those pursuing careers in social work, praised UGA for its exceptional educational opportunities available both on campus and online. Georgia State University and Clark Atlanta University were ranked 2nd and 3rd, respectively. This from the Athens Banner-Herald. In sports, congratulations to Georgia baseball's Charlie Condon, who won the 2024 Dick Hauser Trophy as top player in all of college baseball. And finally, a body found on June 2nd in a wooded area off North Avenue in Athens has been identified as 62-year-old Timothy Brown, a homeless man. Athens-Clarke County Coroner Sonny Wilson confirmed the identification through fingerprints, but stated that the cause of death remains unresolved, with further tests pending. Brown's body was discovered near the former site of a homeless camp by another homeless man who later contacted police. This individual, though, was subsequently arrested on a probation violation warrant. Relatives of Brown in Dacula and Putnam County have been notified of his death. This from the Athens Banner-Herald.
Thanks for listening to the Athens-Clarke County Cast. And don't forget to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
This podcast is a production of BG Ad Group. All rights reserved.
This podcast aggregate content from other sources for informational purposes and is in no way trying to infringe on the copyrights or businesses of any other entities. All content posted up on the site is used under the Fair Use Copyright Law 107. All audio, media, and articles are copyrighted to the original owners. All audio on this podcast are embedded from YouTube.com and are owned by the respective copyright owners. No audio information are copyrighted or stored on our servers. The court ruled that linking or embedding copyrighted videos is not copyright infringement, even if the source video was uploaded without permission. However, we will gladly remove any audio clip upon valid request from respective copyright owners. Any owners also have the option to disable embedding his YouTube videos on other websites. News and press articles are owned by the respective copyright owners. Where possible, the appropriate accreditation or source of the article is given on the same page. The audio-video files on the site are for listening purposes only. Downloading of these files to one's computer is strictly prohibited. They are owned by the respective copyright owners. If it is in the organization's belief that the usage or specific content used on our site containing copyrighted knowledge conflicts with authorized use and or does not comply with fair use as described in the context, contact us through our contact page and we will remove the offending content immediately. Thanks for listening to the Athens-Clarke County Cast.